3-period RSI with a 3070 range on it. And I'm looking at 60 pips of range right there. Trying to buy a pullback in the Australian dollar. Had to get back in and start risking again. It was flat at 150. $150. We were flat at 150. Now we have to buy on pullbacks here. And I'm going to go gonzo risk in this window. Also, when this 4-hour chart completes, we're coming right into the supposed top become a bottom. And we got RSI confirming a positive reversal. Anything below here is more oversold at a higher price. So there will probably be a possible sell-off into this void. So for me, it's really about waiting for this chart to update and seeing how much I can fill up on just pure limits now. Still no market orders in this account. Okay, so now I'm taking on some heat here. Looking to get about $50 a margin going without losing a ticket. And so here's the big raid, and there's probably some news coming out of Australia. But I went flat on anything that was up, and everything was up, right? Because everything had this stellar. Now I got the sells above me, and I got quite a bit of risk up there too. If it's a big gush into this zone, I'm dead. But I started my first group of sells at this top, and then I had some 12 hours I laid in. On top of this whole thing, I have a blanket of these 45 pip 12-hour tickets. It's at the top here. 45 pip range, 10K. A 13 pip stop to make 23. Kind of a swing scalp up in this real insane void. So now it's about, I guess, taunting this bull by placing tighter orders in here and trying to interweave them. It's 2 hours, though. See, I don't think we're going to make it there in 2 hours. So this is the whole trick. How long do you think it's going to take to get up there? Are we talking 1 hour? You think by 10 o'clock tonight we could be above here? That's the only question you need to answer. And then if we do sell into this thing, where are we going to get out at? And I could probably come up with about 10 different fib handles up there based on every zigzag. Every fucking zigzag. Okay, so we picked up this Australian dollar. It's the only thing on sale against the dollar right now on the 4-hour basis. It's the only currency that's in that mode. Okay, New Zealand. A little bit New Zealand. These guys move together, but not perfectly. And here I'll go for a buy limit of just below where we're at. Okay, like this. It's not responding. There you go. It's so illiquid that the ticket wouldn't even go in. Okay, this is going to be a 10 pip stop for an hour. Like this. Now, if it's dropping like a rock, and there's enough money in the account, this is always a qualifier. You got to have enough money in the account. I forgot to mention that. The 4-hour chart is setting up for a RSI positive reversal. If the market closes right here, it will be a confirmed trigger pull based on reversal. More of a sold, higher price. And we're going to assume that this is the exact, precise, only possibility for trend analysis is this is soon to be 0. You know, Elliott wave world. 0, 1, 2. And of course, you can make the argument for this being 4, because that's the problem with Elliott wave. 3 must be the biggest wave. Can we come back to here and get in on New Zealand, get in on Australia? It costs us about $50 a margin. And then we trade that bounce. Now we could dump if it retests here, and it should have some scalps built in, or we can see it go to here and get the fuck out of every ticket, because that's where the sellers are going to come in. Of course, if it's going to spend 8 hours dicking around up here, and there's one last gasp in that, is it really worth sticking around? And so setting up the trap trades above and below in the pockets, in the obvious pockets. Same thing with euro dollar. It comes screaming up into this thing. People are going to sell like crazy. So in 12 hours, I could put in, 8 pip stops, 20 pip range. Now, this is a ridiculous ticket. You start here, way up in the nosebleed, and all of a sudden it doesn't look like that big a spans. 20 pips is kind of a narrow slot when you're talking about having to order. This thing could go up this could go up 300 pips in a week, and go down 300 pips in a week. Or in there, I guess it's going to be like a month. But now it's like, where are we at in this thing? Well, I don't really want to get in unless it goes really high, and I don't want to get in unless it goes really low. And I'll buy the Australia, and I'll buy the New Zealand tonight on pullback, on going down into hopefully a soft landing. Alan Greenspan entry, 15 pips down into my basket of limits, and then we get a dead cat bounce or some kind of, and then there's going to be maybe some more antics where the market's going to go zigzag for another 48 minutes, and then we go up or we go down. But if we go down, it's a buy for me if it's going down, because it's about how deep am I going to get in, for how far out am I going to book, right, the tickets to the flight. Like the price of the tickets go up as you come closer to that flight. And I guess when you traded commodities, it was about the expirations on these things. And that's what creates the frantic movement in price as you closer you come to expiration. Whereas in this case, these currencies, who knows? I don't think there's anybody trading. Somebody asked me about the flash crash. There's just nobody in there. The spread was so wide. That happened back when the Canadian dollar was above the American dollar was below the Canadian dollar by 10 cents. When you went into Christmas, some brokers said to you, well, the spread's going to be 50 pips or something, 100 pips. They're just saying don't trade. And so there's just no liquidity there. And the way the year turned out, as far as where it's on the calendar, and look at Bitcoin recover from that. So you kind of figured that was going to be how it went. One big down candle for Bitcoin and the euro. And just a clean, sharp one zigzag. And all these trades, any trade I'm in, I'm taking some heat here. I'm in $30 a margin. So here we're going back down the tubes. Oh my God. I have to have Geraldine go out and get some more Cuban sandwiches. Go to the deli tonight. Oh yeah, so I'm down I just got stopped out of some taking on more heat. But yeah, we only start with 5,000, so you just got to keep a stiff upper lip. Just got down $3. Taking on more margin though. So it's just getting the sweet spot of dollar risk per week, per day. What is it going to be? You're going to risk $50 or you're going to risk $100 a day. $100 a day. You could do 20 trades for $100 a day. That's pretty big trading. But put 20 pip stops in. All right. You trade 50K with 20 pip stops, right? But you've got risk 20 to make 10, risk 20 to make 20, risk 20 to make 30, risk 20 to make 40 tickets. And you can have breakout trades, stop entry confirmations, stuff like that if you really wanted to, cancel replace. That I would click a double click hotkey or something, because that is a classic mechanical stacking of orders into a drift on stops. Is a kind of really nice dumb ass way to make money. It doesn't always work because you're going to get trapped, so you have to have some kind of limit technique, skill, mindset of thinking, well, if it goes up there, would I sell it? And of course, if you do not get the math right, you'll probably lose more than you thought you would lose. But if you do the math ahead of time, you don't have any fear, so you just put the orders in there. And what's your time frame? If I put weekly orders in there, I know they'll make more money because it'll take forever to fill. In other words, if I get in, I know already if I get in 100 pips deep a week in advance, that trade, a cluster of orders in a 100 pip range, getting in 80 to 160 pips deep, 80 pip range for a week, right? I mean, you're talking about an incredible span of price depth of just, you just got to do the math on that. Now, you would probably still want to, if you're going to kind of undertrade it on limits because you're afraid they're going to overfill you, you can reserve the other technique of trading by just looking at the 1 hour chart and saying, well, if it's really down big, I'll just buy one at the market because it's really on sale. It's a really good price. And just realize that, well, that might be a shitty trade for the next 3 hours, but not a very big trade. And maybe it is a good trade. But how do you step into a jump rope situation? Do you stand on the sidelines and try to sync up and go, oh yeah, get in there, and then or do you get in and then just kind of unravel it as you're inside of it and try to navigate instant on the fly and get the first beat right? It's either going to be a half step or a whole step. You can hardly fuck it up. But it's having flexible mindset where you don't care if it's a major or minor key. And it's terrible to have the market, you're in a winning trade. It's almost worse to be in a winning trade that's just drifting in your favor, because you're like, really, because you're in it, your view of it is definitely distorted by the fact that it's just not getting there. And so in those cases, I definitely would dump and reload, because I can always get back into trouble real easy. Because I know that if I put an order, I feel like they're coming after my limits instead of coming after, whether you come out, used to hunt my stops. Now they're hunting my limits. And what's worse, right? Because if you're hunting your entry, you're taking on risk on the market's terms. Just like when you're getting stopped out of a winning trade or a losing trade at the market's price, whatever the market can move to in a certain time span. So it's very weird because the market's moving around you, up and down and through you, and you're basically getting fucked over. I mean, you have to like getting raped, I guess is what I'm trying to say, by the market, because it's gonna. That's all it's doing to anybody. So yeah, certainly if you flip it over and trade it from the outskirts of town, the outliers, unfair value entries, and then realize that that trade has to get out when it comes back to the place that it originally became unfair. And this thing just goes, oscillates up and down, and it's just over and over. And it's just a sad world of price action. I mean, it's kind of like a big bloodbath, right? If you're on the wrong side of the market. And but if you know the math going in, I don't get this trading's risky. I never understood that. Isn't anything you do just completely insanely risky? It's just everything seems risky to me. Eating food. I mean, you could choke to death. 8:30. Here we go. Boom. So they're off to the races here. Let's see if I can survive the night. Oh, they're killing me again. I just have to say these are just some of the worst rogue waves I thought I'd even ever fucking experience. But we have to have the apology letter right up front. On our site, we have the pre-apology letter. That's what you need as a website with, like, click here for the Cuban sandwich and get the Bernie Madoff special. Everything's just like some complete mistake of investing. Click this. Get the latest version. So I have to wait again for this scenario to play out here with the Australian and New Zealand selling off into my limits, and then when it goes up, I'm going to sell 8 hours from now. So right around London Open, I think my tickets will probably just about right around the opening there. So that's good and bad because the 12 hours will be there. And I want to make money on the way to the, almost in my $50 range of punishment here. So and we lost some, we've taken on some severe risk now. Almost $50 of, that's my target. Oh, here we go. So they're crushed on this Australian dollar into my limits. I think I'm going to load the wagon here on the 1 hours. You just can't lose on this trade. Yeah, so this is a 20 pip grid, and we want to capture this window and get it just about $50 a margin rolling right here. That'd be the ultimate. Look how vicious that 5-minute window is. Look at that thing just poke. And here's your sell from the RSI 3 period. You could have taken that and pulled the trigger right on the clock there. There's a nice clean reversal. But now, I'd be getting the fuck out. In fact, I'm buying that. And I'd say, let's really risk some stuff here. Let's go for the 8 pip stop. Right there. Now this, for 1 hour, that's perfect. 5 minutes, we'll have divergence. Very possibly divergent. The nice thing about RSI is you can really time the market. We're looking for some kind of divergence to end up here. It's a good perfect zigzag pattern. See, this is also that zigzag pattern. That guy was zigzag indicator. It's right there, RSI. So I definitely in 1 minute would pull the trigger if we stayed down at this price, but I don't have to because I put in limits. It's a better situation because I really want to get to this $50 a margin. And so we took some heat there. We got stopped out of those first shallow tickets I had up there earlier. Okay, so now if we get to $140 on the equity here, and we've got to reject the last bottom. If we can come up here, and hopefully I got a scalp built in there, but I doubt it. I think 11 pips is my least greedy exit. Here's a 9 pip exit. See this 1 hour. There's this 1 hour ticket. And I mean, that's an 8 pip stop to make 18. This is 12 orders. These are like scalps that are so, depending where you put them, that's 12 hours. Okay, this is supposed to be the sell. The bears are supposed to come in right there. If this is going to be the bottom that becomes the top. RSI. So right there I bought at the market. I would have bought at the market there, but I've already gotten in this, so many limits here. Almost the perfect perfect size I'm looking for here is $50. Okay, so we get to that's $140 here, so it only cost me $10 for getting in this heavy right here. Okay, so it's basically up to the Forex. Okay, so we gotta get the Robinacci guidebook out, Navigator. See, now all you gotta do is wait. If it closes down again in 5 minutes, I'd buy one at the market. If I was to trade at the market, but like I said, I'll be probably, you know, you just got to be really good at pushing the envelope when you're scalping, I think. Okay, so basically it's autopilot now. I say there's nothing I can do to make this market reject this new low here and get above the hump. But we got divergence there confirmed. So I would be buying at the market here before the close of the next candle. Obviously, anything trapped under here is just amazingly good deep discount prices. So hopefully, when this gets to $140, we can take at least about $7 a margin away. And then we could pad the account for a possible stampede all the way back up. And this is only the 5-minute chart. This is the 4-hour chart. So in the 4-hour picture, right, it's a huge, juicy pullback on the severe juicy pullback. Okay, almost to the $140 target in equity, just so I can relax. So another problem with trading is that no matter what trade you're in, unless you're a true masochist, you're probably going to want the trade to be going your way as often as possible. Now, I'd say for the scalpers, they're probably already out of this Australian dollar in a way, because the logical place to cash out's right here. So we have this going on, and we have the New Zealand dollar is pulling back too into these. What that guy's saying, that thing, willing buyers. Just trying to get this Goldilocks thing going with these four currencies. Get a $50 of margin and take the balance down to 130. Taking a few more tickets, and then the whole thing moves in concert. And the dollar gets crushed. You see this phenomenon. Look at this thing pulling back here now. I definitely like this trade. So now I'm going to trade like a daredevil. That's 1 hour. And there's a 2 hour with a 7 pip stop. Now's our big scalp, so I'm going to put another one in there. Looks good here too. It's good for the goose, it's good for the ganders. And look at this thing come ripping back. Unbelievable. So this is the floor we're rejecting now. So we have a sharp divergence. We're long on limits, trying to get to $140. And that's all you can do. This has to fail for the bears, this bottom. So it's already kind of failed because we've engulfed. Okay, so we're getting a sell signal now. An RSI wouldn't take it, but I'm saying we're getting it. Right, this is a reversal. And it's a lower price. So it is poised to keep tanking. And you project off of here. That's what it's poised to do, but I'm kind of looking at this 4-hour chart thinking, Jesus. Look at this crazy setup. And I'd say it's right in the phase of setting up. I think it's done set up. So forget what I said about the RSI. I kind of like it. I mean, I can, as long as I got the line chart there to remind me of the horizontal pricing, irregardless to this index down here. Although it is amazing, because if you know how to read it, although this is a very long-legged support line, a bit much actually. Looks like it just broke it. So here's your big long-legged reversal. But to me, this is the momentum index. If you take it to here, you get a perfect top-bottom pivot. See, like a miter box, you just drag this across. You're looking for some kind of inflection of momentum to come all the way back to this line or something like that. Because this would be a reversal. Also, it lets you know that you're in reversal territory anytime you can draw a line like that. Because you have this this is still a reversal here and here because of these. As long as this price stays above that, it's just a shallower, and I guess you could say this is divergence. And it gives you this reversal. And what's the next? Oh yeah, as long as it's not angled this way. And on the sell side, anything that's on an angle this way. So here's kind of a shallow sell, and then this is, it's pretty hard to read. There's definitely a divergence here, very faint. But in the end, it's going to always be about this price area. And then this one has just been ripped up this way. Okay, we go back to the 5-minute chart. So here you're breaking away. You're failing to, these reversals in the 5-minute are just not going to hold. Now we've got to start ripping back into this triple bottom that we left behind. That's the target for the bears, the scalpers. That's a triple bottom on the 15. Like a single bottom on the half hour. Single bottom on the 1 hour. So it looks like the scalpers can't wait to get out of this thing right now and all the way to this 20-yard line. They would love to have that for the scalp. And if that's the case, and say we were up like $1,000, I might say go flat, take the grand, come back in with 1Ks all over again, put a 50K in here. Double click your way into a 50K of pre-programmed limits. Okay, we're almost to that $50 margin level. Here we're taking the heat now. So we got to survive the next 45 minutes, which is going to be brutal because at 9:30 it's going to be, the wheels are going to come off these markets. Here's a nice divergence. It's kind of, there's only one in there. But definitely, people say indicators don't work. Well, you just kind of have to, I guess, you got to wait for these things to, on the hourly, you have to wait for the hour to go by. Here's the reversal from last night. It's pretty tough. It's like, where's Waldo? And we broke this trend line. We come ripping north. And, yeah, it's in the buy zone. Okay, so we're holding 130, almost to the $50 golden usage of margin. At least for me, the target. So I want to see if I get the math right here. This needs to come to 140. And this is just about as far as I can push this account, I'd say. Now, from here on, we have to start winning into the top of the hour by 9:30. If we're not at $150, I'm gonna go get some Cuban mustard. So here we are. Oh, almost to the $50 level. We're taking heat, but we're up on something. I bet we're getting filled on another one of these pullbacks. Now the euro is a long time from getting filled. I think it's the pound. So the pound cost us, and we got in right here at the very edge. Right there, we got more limits ready to go in. So this is the hard thing, is to get this all balanced out. get all tuned up and be like, okay, I've got 12 hours or I've got 48 hours left in the week. There's got to be some mini flash crash that I can buy. So Asia, you can get these kind of mini. Oh, it's taking on some heat here. So right at that 130, I'd like to see it at 140 though. So I really have a vested interest in being right about trading too. I want to be able to, and it's hard to do with 4 currency pairs, because if I had 1 currency pair right now, I could look at the chart and go, oh yeah, that's about all I can. I shouldn't have put that ticket there. But I can't look at 4 charts and really say, based on the balance and the way the equity swing is, I can't really say that. Okay, so here's the composite view. It's difficult. I would say this is an obvious buy for me on the 4-hour, any pullback here. It's an obvious, I mean, I figured that when I saw this coming back off this top in the New Zealand, I figured, well, they're probably going to bid that down off this. Right here was the scalper's window. Sell anything above this rooftop, this daily rooftop. Right, we knew that was a good trade. Now all the way back to this daily top. What a dumbass place to get in. And if we got the RSI to go more oversold here, with the price still being higher than here, then we see that setup. So we can see the setup coming for some kind of move. I wouldn't dream of a nice clean move, although it does happen, right? Everybody's going to look back at this trade and go, yeah, dude, you don't think that doesn't happen? Here's the reversal. There's the price pulse. And so this is the same. Bill Williams talks about this stuff. Another one of these guys I studied with. And he's a real country guy. These people down south, they kill it because they're just laid back. They're not all like nervous about it or something. Look at this perfect top bottom here on daily. It's pivot. So for the New Zealand dollar, you know, people think this is a big deal, but you know, this was inside price. It was the Australian that was and the pound that, in other words, the ones that were on the edge, those are the ones that really got annihilated. But you know, in the big picture, you can't even see that shit. Like I said, the spread was so wide here, you couldn't even fucking trade it. There's no way. I mean, not in this broker. It wasn't going to happen. So we're waiting for the top of the hour to get the jury to come in and see if I'm going to be charged with over trading. I'm sorry, sir, but took a look at your account. But it's a demo, Your Honor. It doesn't matter. Overtrading's overtrading. What'd you do to that account, son? Okay, so here's the looking for the $140. Top of the hour. You can do it. Oh, Jesus, it's just too crazy. Look at this move. So here's your reversal, sell. Cardwell says take the lowest close between that reversal and add it. Same amount of pips. It's going to be your target. Overshoots runway. Get like quadruple divergence, triple divergence, and then boy, they just ripped this thing to hell, didn't they? Here's your divergence. Now we got a reversal. Now what the hell's going on here, people? It's like a circus, though. Look at the pound, though. That was kind of a wimpy sell-off for the the bears. I don't even see a reversal here in the 4 hour, just the 1 hour's got like a crooked looking reversal. Plus, you know, this British pound's very crooked looking. Look how sharp the 1 hour's RSI is on this thing. Look at this psycho reversal. This thing's in some kind of like channel shit. Here's divergence that causes the buy. It is literally insane. The British pound is insane. I swear to God, if you just buy and sell 20 pips deep, buy 20 pips deep, sell 20 pips above deep. And just do it on every 4 hours. It wouldn't even matter. You got some limits here, you barely get filled. Okay. Scalp to here, scalp something, take 10 pips. Oh, finally. So here we're hitting target. $140, almost $50 into the top of the hour. We got to survive till here. And then we try to cross into the, almost got that 150. That's where I started 40 minutes ago. Okay, so we took that plunge and we bought into that little plungeola. The faster that filled, the even better the trade it was, and the faster the money you're going to make, because it's just going to happen. Like, it's like a spike strip. I mean, it's all up in the wheel wells, though. I mean, you're really getting in nasty. And you just cross your fingers and go, there's nothing I'm going to do is going to change this fucking idea I have. Nothing. But, you know, it's thrilling in a way to just lay orders in there and go, okay, fuckers. Come on. Let's see what you got. Let's see how much fucking intensity there is in these markets. Look at this fucking classic rape-a-date in the Australian dollar. Look at that. Every scalper where their soul's getting out right now into that target. On the 5, it's screaming up into that target. And they're getting out. This is the big target here. I wonder if there's news coming out. I hope I'm getting out of something here, but I don't see it happening. Another disappointment of trading is that you didn't get in big enough on a move, you know, like the back of your hand. I've seen it so many times. You subconsciously know the trade. It's like, oh yeah, there you go. Psychotic move down, psychotic rejection of price. Why didn't I just get in there? So here they go, the seller's right there. But I'm going to stick through it so you can see the first sellers come in there. The first new high all the way back to that line. So if you want it to be, you could do RSI. Now, I don't recommend it, but here's RSI on the 1 minute chart, and you can see how it's behaving. It's setting up in reversal mode right now. This is the reference low. It's more oversold at a higher price. And as long as it stays above here, I guess, or here. But look at how this RSI behaves. This is what gives you the setup. More oversold, but the price has not moved down, and you can swatch it. You can stare at those two, and you can see it index back 3 periods. It's just amazing. It's the best indicator that was ever written is so clean. There's nothing there. Just the closing prices. Are you kidding me? And it's divergence right now. See how it's failing to make. That's bullish though. See, it's very perverse what people think. And divergence is just a detour. That's what Cardwell says. It's just a detour. It's not the reversal of all reversals. So the people that try to trade it is the ultimate turning point. It may be on a sharp 2 period at the end of a move, a really sharp 2 to 5 period. It might be on a triple divergence, but when the market's trending, it defies all divergence. Now, right here's a divergence. If it closes right here on that 1 minute chart, you're in divergence right there. It's constantly going, ebbing and flowing back and forth between those things. A 1 minute chart, it's crazy. But if you're in really big and you're swing trading, you want to watch the 1 minute chart if you want to feel confidence in your swing trade. Because to look at it on the, well, you may have more confidence if you look at it on the daily, thinking, Jesus, if this thing makes it through here, makes it through there, makes it through there, makes it through there, then makes it through that price, then holy shit, right now, look at the sellers come in right there. So this is divergence, right? Anyways, I don't think I cashed out of anything, but so we're on target here for another wacky night of psychotic price swings. Look at the 5. Look at this thing. This is still the better target. But you watch that 1 minute chart, and then you can see the whole pace of this thing and how it works. Okay, there you go, 9 o'clock. So 1 hour charts, 1 hour, half hour charts are updating. There's the 1 hour chart. Look, you can't even see this price. It's just a flash crash now on the 1 hour. Now you could recut into that and go all the way down and take out that wick. There's no reason why this thing can't revisit any price at any time. And yeah, right there, almost $160. So we could go right now. We could get out and go flat. But if you figure that was just nothing but a big washout, that's a retail flush that you've heard about, right? Because only a retail trader would try to sell into that, right? This is in other words, the retail trader's a moron, and they sold into that. But they were genius if they sold earlier and held through that wick and then cashed out down into that, right? So I mean, I don't get this. Well, retailed this, retailed that. I just don't get that. Like somehow the institutional trader is never losing any money, never underwater, right? Because they use like special tools. And they would never have to pay commissions or even the spread or even ever lose on a trade. It's just so funny. It's like these flat earth guys. And this flat earth people, man, I was watching this guy called Flat Earth Jesus. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. It's like watching Empowered Trading talk about Gartley's. I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest with you. I don't think there is any difference between the flat earthers and the Robinacci meets flat earth. It's just fucking, or we didn't go to the moon. I mean, what in God's green earth happened to people's fucking minds? But I think it's either clickbait or it's just this, I don't know. There's some kind of drug out there that's wiping out people's grip on reality, you know. Okay, so here we're trying to get to 160 bucks now is my target by 9:30. And yeah, that would be a nice goal. Now I'm already feeling greedy right now, because I'm like, I got some free margin here. I'd like to buy some more of this Australian Dow at the market, but I mean, this is the thing. It kind of defeats the purpose of this set it and forget it philosophy, where I haven't really placed any orders on here in about, I think I put some in about a half hour ago. I put some 12-hour orders in there that last all night. And so, how much do you want to risk dollar-wise? That'd be the question, And do you have a threshold for risk that you just always run a risk assessment? You're going to drop so many tickets a day. And here's that 5-minute window here. Sellers came in right there. Like clockwork at that floor on that 15. You see that? On that 5. They backed off. So now you got this nice walking stairway on the RSI as it creeps up. Plus you got a top bottom here on the closing 5-minute. So that could drift back. We could still hit the long, big juicy target's always going to be this triple bottom on the 5. So we kind of missed our scalp exit there. We were up to 154 bucks there for a little bit. That wasn't too bad. Okay, let's come back at the bottom of the hour. Okay, we got a bonus here. We're getting in at this wonderful deep discount again. I actually am not adding to the position, but we knew the sellers were coming in up here. And I survived this pullback without add. I actually picked up a few more tickets on something. So we got to that golden $53 of margin. And we still haven't made it back to this. And then we have to engulf this price. Here's a cute little divergence on the 5-minute. Here's a positive reversal on RSI on the 5. That's your first one. Nothing on the 15, but a double bottom divergence on the 15 at the end of this situation. Back to the $140 with the 53. So 1 minute, 1 minute, 5 seconds. And then we're just going to walk away from this. And then when I'm going to ride this until London opens. And hopefully it's got out of something by then, or we can just go flat in London Open. Still got another day to trade. There's a couple more good trades left this week, I'm sure, at any one of these pairs, so it's not like the end of the world. There's going to be some kind of good trade coming up, right? That's what we're hoping. We're hoping and praying, right? Making Cuban sandwiches in the back room. Okay, so we're going to wait till 9:35. And we should see what the balance is, 9:35. Hopefully we're at 150 bucks with $53 of margin. So I'm glad I didn't chase this thing. Because as soon as this goes in confirmation mode, which would have been right about here. Don't forget the retail traders are going to buy up right about here, man. They go, oh, look, it broke out. Okay, let's get in. Wow, it's going up. Really is going after that. Wah, wah, wah. Comes back to this top. Get a double bottom with divergence. Now maybe we come up here. So, good thing I didn't add to that. There you go, 9:30. So we got 4 more minutes window here of possible getting to 160 with the 53 holding, and I must have picked up a New Zealand dollar trade because I don't know where that other, yeah, New Zealand finally filled. So coming back to this top, and I really treated this just like I did on the New Zealand, getting back on this 4-hour pullback. There's the 4-hour Australia for New Zealand. Same story, different price. And the British pound, of course, could still tank. I think I picked up some tickets here. I'm going to put some more in. I'm going to go for the 8-hour tickets here. Set it and forget it's 8 hours. I think about, like a 6K across 10 pip range. That's pretty serious. Okay, about 141 bucks, $53. Now if we could cash out of something, and here's where it's very difficult to orchestrate all these currencies. So back to the 4-hour chart. Looks like the euro's not even gonna pull back. It's just gonna keep ripping north. I've seen that before too. So I do have the buy limits here on the 4-hour and the sell limits above on the 4-hour. Here's the 4-hour pound. It could still pull back to this top. So that's why I put those orders in pretty dense into this 4-hour top. So everybody's on the 4-hour. And that's it. Mission accomplished. We've got that at least $50 of margin rolling. We're holding 140. And the critical window is past this. And now it's off to the races. That's that critical window up to 9:30. So from here to here, if you can survive this 4-hour, one of these hours in there is going to be punishment. Okay, so it's about as boring as it gets, and we'll have to see where we're at when London opens. Hopefully we can get up to about 220 bucks in this account by then. I don't even think I'm in this euro. Just looking for this thing to settle in. The 5 minutes after the bottom of the hour. If it starts going my way and the euro can pull back and the pound can still pull back some more, who's going to lead against the dollar coming into the London Open? Which one has the best odds? And I don't have the yen or the euro yen up here because somebody said something about, well, you know, you made money on this euro yen and this. It doesn't matter really. It's about the volatility and how tight a stop you're going to run. If you trade the euro to the yen and you make a calculated dollar risk, it really doesn't matter. I mean, if you didn't size it to that, if you don't know how to trade the market, it doesn't. Other than the spread, I don't think there's any kind of secret. Oh, you're really good at trading that. No, some people are good at trading the dollar Canadian, and it's just like any other market. But I don't know if you can trade the dollar Canadian, the British pound, the euro. Maybe you can trade all those things. But the spread is not that great on the Canadian. I mean, it's New Zealand's. Maybe it is good. Depends what your broker's giving you. But when the end of the market comes, it's brutal. At the end of the day, it's brutal. Oh, they're still pulling back New Zealand. Okay, so there you go. We're 5 minutes in. And the market, and literally nothing's happening. Now we're just waiting for the 1-minute traders to come in on top. I'll kick it off. And then we're just going to ride the storm out into London. Whatever happens. Nothing you do is going to change that trade. 30 seconds before 1 minute's up. Every 5 seconds is a big deal for some people. You know, the people with the 5-second charts, they've already made their money. They're out. They're like, holy shit, this is the end of wave 5. Look at this. You can run those really tight charts too. Okay, we got 1 minute charts are going to update. Boom. They just closed out one. Now they're off. They're off to the races. Pretty calm. Pretty calm Asia, but it should heat up here. Okay, we're up. Look at it. See? Now it should go up. We should get up to $150 by 10 o'clock. It's over the 6 minute window because the 5 minute traders got their signal locked in, and the 1 minute traders are starting, or it's the clock is ticking down on the 5 minute charts from a 1 minute standpoint. So if you watch your equity fluctuate, you notice at the bottom of the hour, top of the hour, it's really crazy. It's definitely a turning point on the clock. There's no way around it. And you can see in your mind's eye the 1 minute chart right now. Just looking at the 4 hour chart, you're like, oh yeah, I think the 5 minute chart's running out of gas. And the 1 minute traders are already back with the triple bottom, and they got this going on and that going on. And it looks like New Zealand could still tank. This euro looks like it's not even going to pull back. It's just going to keep ripping north. So just in case it pulls back, I will start to come in with the 1 hour. Now here's how I can really make a lot of money, is to come in with the 1 hour, 2 hours, and be like, okay, let's start thinking about buying this for 2 hours, right? 2 hours like this, tight stops. Here's 2 hours, wide stops, big trend trade. Let's fucking load up on this thing. All right, so we have to wait again